And that's the thing. No matter at what point you meet or swipe right on the person, you're at a certain point in your life. And you're in the middle of a process. I don't know if that process is, you just got out of a relationship. I don't know if the process is you've always wanted a relationship. I don't know if the process is I've never had a relationship.
Yeah, right. A good one, right?
Yeah, one at all.
Anyone. Yeah.
I mean, but let's know a good one. But I mean, you've got to work through that process.
Yeah.
And the person that you swipe right on has to understand where you are in that process in order to help you work through it.
And they'll handle you, right?
And you can't be ashamed of it if it's the right person, because they're going to be willing to do whatever it takes to help you get through that process.
Right. Because if you met the right person, they're going to partner with you on that journey.
They will partner with you on that journey.
Because
100%.
you're partnering with them. It's a mutual thing that we're working. Hey, my name is Aaron Hingston.
Hey, and I'm John White. We are the 18 Realty Group.
And we are back for another installment of Real Intentions.
Real Intentions Part 2.
All right. We are coming to you guys with how do we relate the real estate game to the dating game?
Yeah. So the first thing we did was we kind of set up a profile.
Yeah. Right. Okay.
And in setting up the profile, we looked at, hey, is this the game you really want to be in? How serious are you about the game? The ways you approach the game, you know.
You put some personal information out there, right?
Yes.
We shared who we are and what we do, right? We shared our love for real estate, right? We shared our family environment, right? We shared our education.
There you go.
And so we put all of that in the profile.
Yes. But now you got to go to the next step of this thing.
What's the next step, man?
So the next step is you've got this beautiful profile set up.
Okay.
Some of it's lies, but
you embellish just a bit, right?
You got to you got to do what you got to do. But, so you get your profile set up, and now you're in the app, and you're moving around in the app, and you're looking at these pictures of people, and some of them you see and you're like, oh no, this ain't gonna work.
You just left on them, right?
Swipe left, all to the left, like Beyonce say. And then you see somebody that looks kind of interesting. You're like,
and just maybe
this might be something
just
worth looking into,
right? And so then what you do with that person?
But then what you do is you swipe right.
Okay, all right. So after you swipe right, then now that opens up a whole can of worms, right?
That's what it opens.
Because at this point, now you've opened yourself up to begin to have some type of dialogue or conversation.
Correct.
Either now you're going to hit them up or they're going to hit you up. But because now you've shown interest, you have to be intentional.
Now your real intentions have to come to the forefront.
Right. At least there needs to be an initial conversation or some communication about why did you swipe right?
Right. So, most people don't just want, hey, my name is John, and I swipe right.
Because they can see that.
Right.
They can see that much. They know that. They got the little ding on the app when you swiped right. So we already know that you're here, right? So now what are we doing next?
So now the next thing you got to do is you've got to make contact.
Okay.
And a lot of apps, the app is set up where the woman has to make the first move.
Okay.
Or make the first connection.
Right.
Some of them, it doesn't matter who makes the first connection. But in real estate, it varies as well, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's sometimes that you'll be walking down the street and somebody will see you.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
They'll make a connection.
It
might be sometimes that, hey, you saw an ad that we ran.
Right.
And that's how the connection was made.
Yeah.
So who reaches out first?
And I mean, sometimes, man, that while we're sitting here talking, I'm thinking the other person has to show some interest too. So yeah, you swiped right, but even in this process, the other person still has to, be like, okay, yeah, maybe this is okay.
So it's not one sided.
It can't be one sided.
It has to. Okay.
It has to be. Both people have to say, okay, yeah, you swiped right, but am I interested? Right? Because even in the real estate game, man, nobody wants to waste their time.
Right.
Nobody wants to. It's it's a hard blow to feel like they left you out there.
Yeah.
You made a first move, and then you never heard a reply.
Hey, so the time is the one resource that none of us will ever get back.
Yeah, right.
The minute that just passed is gone forever.
Yeah, you're right.
So you don't want to waste your time not being authentic and not being the love not being requited. Unrequited love is the worst love, all that nonsense. But the thing is, as you go through, you swipe right, and you start looking at, all right, how do we make this first connection?
Yeah, right.
So you make the call. You dig a little deeper into the profile at this point, right? Because at first you look at just the picture, and it's
right.
All right.
Okay. You look with your eye.
Be like, she tight.
Yeah, right. You look with your eye.
Think this all right?
Yeah.
But then you start looking and be like, yeah, she like lizards. And you be like, it's a little weird.
Why is that?
A little weird,
right.
but
but she's still fine, so maybe we can go.
But you never know. It could still work, right?
Right.
And so you go out and you have this interaction to make that first acquaintance.
Right. And so you start going into the app, right? You could maybe even just start in the app just having a basic conversation. Right, email or whatever it is,
video or
however you're doing it, right, and never really share any personal information.
Right,
you can still sit within that, and y'all can communicate.
So
and
y'all
can
do that. Y'all could be friends for the next 35 years,
forever. Right, you could make a new buddy. Right, even though you were looking for a love connection, now you can have a buddy on the line.
You got you a pen pal.
Right, exactly. Y'all sending letters and stuff.
Right, cool. Right.
Do people still pen pals?
I don't know. People don't teach writing in school, so you can't be a pen pal.
You can't be a pen pal. Okay, you got to be an app pal.
Yeah,
My bad.
There you go. You got to be able to. Yeah, you got to be a video buddy or something. I don't know.
So we talking, right?
Right.
We're talking and talking and talking. Somebody has to pull a trigger, man.
Yeah, you're right. Somebody has to move this thing to the next level, right?
And hopefully there's some trust that has been built, maybe in y'all's communication in the app, right?
Right.
There's communication. There's some trust that is starting to develop.
And that leads to the first date, you know?
Right. You shared numbers now.
Now, you've talked to this dude a little bit, this female a little bit, but really it's still a blind date because you still don't really know what you're getting.
You have no idea what's about to show up.
Now, what you're hoping is that everything they said was true.
Right.
That everything that they wrote was true.
The profile is exact. The picture.
Yeah. Well, not since I get on them pictures. What about them pictures when it be from 14 years ago?
Right. It be your graduation picture.
Like, you had two legs in this picture. Come on, man. You had two legs in this picture.
Right.
What happened to the other leg?
When Smokey, when that chick showed up, and she said,
Janet Jackson?
Yeah, Janet Jackson showed up. Oh, sorry, we got lost.
Yeah,
My
we
bad.
We do that. But yeah, so you go out on this date.
Yeah.
And you talk to each other, and you hope to find out that it's really like you saw it, right?
Yeah, that first impression, right? You want it to be what you saw.
Because there are situations where you might get catfished.
Man, come on,
They might tell you, yeah, I'm a doctor.
Yeah, right.
And I drive a Porsche. And then they show up and
But the catfish may be deeper because I think they go.
Talk to me.
These series, they show up in the Uber, right?
Yeah.
Because the Porsche was in the shop.
Yes, there you go.
So we Ubered to this place, right? And so what we're doing is we're not being honest. We're not being authentic. We're not sharing our real intentions.
Yes.
About moving forward in this dating game.
Right.
And man, come on.
And it's the same in real estate, right?
Yeah, completely.
Like, you'll have people that'll call you and say, oh yeah, I'm interested in a house. I'm looking for a house that's $350,000 and this and this and this. And then You send them exactly what they said they wanted.
Right.
And then next thing you know, they be like, well, yeah, no, the kitchen, I like white kitchens instead of dark kitchens. Okay.
But hold on. Before we even get to that, right?
Yeah.
So we set them up on the little drip, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
they're getting constant feedback, right? We're showing that
you give
we're
them all
interested.
the options.
We're
All
giving
the options.
everything they said that they wanted. We're presenting.
Yes.
Right. We're giving it to them. But then when we start talking about credit. When we start talking about getting pre-approved to find out exactly, because
then they start crawfishing.
We have to be honest, right?
Yeah.
If I'm only making, and no disrespect to anybody that's making, $50,000, $60,000 a year, right?
Right.
Because that's a solid income,
Right.
But we have to know what that is so that we know how much to afford, right?
Yes.
We have to be open and we have to be honest about that process, because when all is said and done, how much you make matters.
Yes.
Your credit score matters.
Your credit score matters.
Those student loans.
Right. And when you're talking about real intentions,
Yeah.
our real intention is to make sure that we put all of our clients in a home that they can enjoy, that they can live in, that they can afford.
That's it.
We don't want you to be in a house that you can't afford, because then you can't go on vacation.
Right.
You got to eat ramen noodles every day.
What kind of relationship is that?
Where is that enjoyable? And
what kind of relationship have now? Now there's a blame game, right?
Right.
This is the house you set me up.
You sold me this house.
Right. You catfished me.
Yeah.
Because you told me that this is my first time doing this. I've never been in this app.
Exactly.
I've never even been on a blind date, but I put myself out there, and so now I'm here.
And so this is what I got.
And I'm expecting you to handle me a little better than that. Right. But when we talk about real intentions, when we talk about, picking those, swiping right and going on that first date, from a real estate perspective, you want to do it with somebody that you feel like you can trust.
You definitely want to trust.
Because this is a long-term relationship we're about to build.
Yes.
Right?
And it's not just for this situation.
Right.
The relationships we build go past this house sale.
Yeah. Of course, man.
Or this house not sell. Sometimes it's not in your best interest to buy a house.
Man,
that's all part of the conversation we've got to have.
We've got to have. I mean, because I'm gonna talk about my own situation, right? When I initially bought my first house, right?
Yeah.
I bought it as a single man, 24 years old. Boom, I'm doing it.
Yeah,
I feel like I'm
bachelor pad.
Bachelor pad. 4 bedrooms. But what I didn't take into consideration, I had this split loan, this 80-20.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. I didn't really understand it.
And that's unfortunate, because there's a lot of people that are caught in that situation.
Caught in that situation now, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm dating, and I'm only working with half of my date, right? I'm only working on the 80. I forgot about the 20. Well, the 20 said, "Hey, I need some attention."
Right.
But I didn't have anything to give it. So what happened was they said, "Hey, we need all of it.
We're gonna have to take all 100.
We're gonna take all 100 back." And I ended up in foreclosure, man.
And that's not where you want to be.
That's not where you want to be at all.
It's not
right?
enjoyable. It's not beneficial. You can live through it.
Yeah. And of course, my journey lived through it.
Right.
It can't happen.
But you going through that is part of the reason we're so sensitive about
yes, man. That's it.
making sure that
exactly it.
all of our clients don't
Right.
have to deal with that.
Right. We want you to be informed.
Right.
We want you to be completely educated. It doesn't matter where you find yourself, what age you find yourself. We want you to be completely informed and educated about this dating game that you're about to pursue.
About this whole process.
Process.
We want you to understand what happens when you swipe right. What the next step is. What does that lead to? Where does that take you?
Right.
How far does that go?
How far does that go?
What do you have to do after you swipe right? Because you can't just stop after swiping right.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to stay in that circle and stay in that, if you just want to build friendships, then cool. But if you are really ready to pursue the next step and go, if you're really ready to put a ring on it, right?
Not Beyonce.
If you're really ready to do it.
Yeah, I got you.
If you're really ready to do that, then it comes with some very serious steps and understanding and just being open and honest about what you're gonna do.
Right. And you got to make sure you've got somebody working with you that is going to take you slow through the process.
That's partner with you.
Because everybody doesn't want to rush through the process.
Right.
Because it should be an enjoyable process.
You made me think about
dating should actually be something you enjoy. How
it
about
should be
that?
fun.
It shouldn't be I need to get married by the time I'm 25 because my biological clock is ticking and
you putting all of this,
my life plan says and there's all this undue stress
and pressure
that comes because you're not enjoying the process.
Yeah, you've set these unrealistic expectations.
Right.
And again, let's be intentional, and being intentional is being honest. Right. Because if we're just not at that place yet, then it's okay.
It's
right.
Okay.
Let's come together and let's build a 5-year plan together. Right. As your agent, let's sit down and let's work through. Okay, where are you today? Where do you want to be? And let's figure out how to get there. Let's work through that dash.
Exactly. And that's one of the things that differentiates us from a lot of realtors. A lot of realtors are here for, hey, I'm here to make this sale. By all means, I'm going to do this sale. No matter how it leaves you, no matter what it does to you, I'm going to get mine.
Yeah, right.
Just like a lot of dates, right?
Just like a lot of dates.
But at the end of the day, we're looking to build, like I said before, a long-term relationship that enables us to sell you your next house.
Yeah, because I just
sell all your friends and families their house.
Yeah, exactly.
Because at the end of the day, that relationship is way more important than this commission.
Yeah, because one of the things, man, it just popped up, right?
All right.
Because sometimes we get caught up in previous relationships.
That does happen.
Right, and we bring that to the table. And so, yeah, we swiped right, but I'm leery.
Right.
And I'm scared because the last person I dealt with handled me wrong.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Or they ghosted me or they whatever happened, right? They catfished me.
That's
showed up.
That's it.
Showed up and they weren't who they said that they were.
So they
couldn't deliver.
That goes back to an example. We talked to a couple of clients the other day.
Yeah, that's
that
right.
That didn't choose us initially.
Right. Yep.
We sat down, did the full presentation. Hey, this is what you get with the team. We laid out all of our intentions. They went with someone else.
Yeah. That hurt, man.
At the end of the day, it hurt, but
because we swiped right.
But they but it wasn't mutual. So they went another direction.
Yeah.
They came back to us.
How many years? What, it was 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
Wow.
They came back to us. Now, they actually bought a house right down the street from somebody else we sold the house.
Yeah, right.
But they were like, man, we wish we had used you in the first place.
They actually said, we thought about you guys.
All through the process.
They were cheating on the other person.
They were cheating.
They had an emotional relationship.
They cheating on it. I mean, so at the end of the day, it's, they realized later on that, hey, what they told me was actually true.
Yeah.
In the beginning.
Right.
Our intentions have always been true.
Yeah.
I can't control your intentions, though. So all I can do is put forth my truth, my real intentions. Yeah, but I got to count on you to put forward yours.
Right.
So long story short, the other realtor was more into himself, really, than into them.
Yeah.
And, he would always talk about, hey, I've got 45 clients and da-da-da.
So it's like showing up on a date, right?
Yeah.
And all they talking about is themselves, right?
Yeah.
And their car and their money and they,
Yeah.
all of what they into.
Exactly.
And so that he was that dude.
And so he was that dude.
Yeah.
And so, end of the day, they came back and they want to use us to list a different property. So, at the end,
and the thing about it though, man, that I felt when we were leaving the house, it clicked for me because it's not just any house, right?
That's true.
It's his mother's home.
Yes.
Right? So not only is he trusting us with, because he invited us to the table to say, hey, I need you guys to come and sit down and have a conversation that my mother can understand.
Yes.
Because she's a little leery about giving up her investment.
Because she's been in this house for 50 years.
It was 50 years, right? She's been in it.
And she wasn't crazy about getting off of it, but in getting off of it, she knew that she was going to need to get as much from this house as possible, because this was her nest egg. This was her life savings.
Right.
And so they trusted us with that transaction.
And we were able to even build more trust kind of in that conversation because of our own personal life experiences right now, right?
Correct.
You in the first segment, you talked about your mom, right?
Right.
My mom is basically in a very similar situation where life has completely changed, right? And now we're having to deal with, how do they operate individually?
Yes.
At this age and moving forward. And so it's important that you lock in with somebody who can share in your experience, right?
Yes.
Who can grow with you, who can be strengthened with you throughout the process, and that is not just one-sided.
Yes.
Right? You don't feel like you're giving everything and not getting anything back.
Yeah, that's not a relationship.
That's not a relationship at all. You'll leave empty every time.
You'll leave empty every time. And they'll let you.
They will let you. They will let you.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, so on the backside of my foreclosure, right?
Yes.
There's been some redemption. There's been some parts. I had to work on my credit.
Yeah.
Because I left out of the foreclosure. I ended up life changes. I ended up getting married. Right. We ended up getting pregnant, but we're staying in an apartment. I grew up in a house. So I was like, I don't want my child to grow up in an apartment, right? That's not what I want to do. And so I was real intentional. My wife and I were intentional about rebuilding, right?
Yes.
And so we had to take the time to rebuild, to be strengthened. And then when it was time, he was at 1 year old, we closed on a new house. And
it's beautiful because you're intentional about it, but at the end of the day, there's nothing wrong with that process.
Right.
So
that was our process.
So and that's the thing. No matter at what point you meet or swipe right on the person, you're at a certain point in your life. And you're in the middle of a process. I don't know if that process is, you just got out of a relationship. I don't know if the process is you've always wanted a relationship. I don't know if the process is I've never had a relationship.
Yeah, right. A good one, right?
Yeah, a good one at all.
Anyone. Yeah.
I mean, but let's know a good one. But I mean, you've got to work through that process.
Yeah.
And the person that you swipe right on has to understand where you are in that process in order to help you work through it.
And they'll handle you, right?
And you can't be ashamed of it if it's the right person, because they're going to be willing to do whatever it takes to help you get through that process.
Right. Because if you met the right person, they're going to partner with you on that journey.
They will partner with you on that journey.
Because
100%.
you're partnering with them. It's a mutual thing that we're working through, right?
Yes, you're right.
And so, then it becomes this lifelong journey that you all are taking together, and everybody's being, the benefit is there for everybody, right?
Yes.
So, I mean,
at the end of the day, focusing on your real intentions before you swipe right, just know where you are.
Yeah.
Right. Know what you're looking for. Know what your worth is.
Yeah.
And be ready to learn about who you're swiping right on.
And even with that, don't bring your previous. Because sometimes that's something you have to work through, right?
That's true.
Bringing your previous experience all the way to the table, and you always look through that lens, that negative lens when you approach the dating game, is going to hurt you in the long run, right? Because you're going to miss out.
It'll cause you to be withdrawn. It'll be like, well, I'm not going to tell him what my credit score is really,
right?
Because he don't need to know that.
He don't need to know all
that.
Well,
in actuality, he kind of does if he's trying to put you in the property that you're saying you want to be in.
Because when it comes down to it, man, I have people that I trust, that we've built relationship with.
Correct.
Because when you get me, you get all of who I bring to the table too.
Correct.
Right? So you're going to bring, not only are you getting our expertise, but you're getting a team of expertise.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so we're bringing to the table the lender, the credit manager, all of the individuals
Yep.
who are necessary to make this process easy and make it flow and make these dates worthwhile.
Yes. Because you want them to be worthwhile.
Right.
Why are you dating if you're not looking for something on the backside of it?
Exactly, man. Bro, I mean, because the greatest part of it is now that you've dated a little bit, you've gotten this preliminary stuff out of the way. You are approved. You are ready to go, and y'all go out on and check out these beautiful homes.
Then
right?
you can wait till you were waiting to exhale. you were waiting to exhale like Whitney and them, huh?
And now you can do it.
And now
right?
you can exhale because now you're ready. You're in the right place,
right,
with the right people.
Yes,
and you're ready to move forward.
Right.
And your real intentions can be achieved.
Yeah, you out there looking at houses now without any, knowing when you walk out there, I can afford that. I can get that, right?
Yes.
And now when we get into the game, when we get into the process, when we get into that moment and we say, I love this. Now we're moving forward together, full speed ahead.
Now we can have it.
We're putting a ring on it.
Yeah, now you can have it at this point.
Because I'm writing up a contract, literally writing up a contract.
That's it.
Signing my name on the dotted line, and I'm saying this is mine.
That's it.
Right? And but it took all of that intentionality up front.
Yes.
It took all of that trust.
It doesn't work without it. It doesn't work without it.
It doesn't work without it. It doesn't work without it at all. And so, man, it goes back to now that we're in that home, right?
Yes.
My family, we're in that home. Now we're looking to expand. I'm in a completely different situation than I was when we first bought it.
Yes,
right.
You are.
Now we're in a different situation.
And I'm in a different situation.
Right.
I'm looking to downsize.
Okay.
Because I ain't got them knuckleheads with me no more.
The
Don't
knuckleheads
tell my
move
wife
on.
I said that.
Yeah, right.
Because them mamas and they boys. Oof. But I'm telling you, it's a beautiful journey.
Yeah.
We're all on one.
Of course.
You just got to find the right people to take it with.
Yeah. I mean, when we now that we've swiped right, we've gotten through the catfishing, we've gotten through the
blind dates,
and now we're just really building a great relationship. Right. We laugh, we joke, we go out to eat.
Yep.
And we just sit down and we talk about what's the next step.
And we just enjoy the process.
Yeah, we enjoy the process because and when it comes down to real estate, you may have more than one profile, right?
Yes.
You may be dating for a house on this side, but then you also may have a business
that you're looking for.
You're an entrepreneur.
Correct.
And you need a storefront.
That's a different profile.
That's a different profile, right? And so, but the thing is we in both of them.
We ready for both of them. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
We in both apps, right?
That's right. We in a bucket of fish and tender and bubble. We in all that, baby.
But I mean that talks about our intentionality and our expertise because we want it to be available. We don't want you to have to cheat on us. You know
Please
what I'm saying?
Don't cheat on us.
Don't cheat on us, man. We don't want you to have to go out because you're missing something in our relationship and try to find it somewhere else. We don't want you to do that.
Yes.
And so we've kind of expanded our knowledge and our understanding and our intellect so that, we can cover the whole process.
So that everything you need, we have.
Yeah. It's our overall broad reach is A-Team Complete, right? We are a complete agency that is available for you to take care of all of your needs.
Whether you're investing, whether you're commercial, whether you residential, no matter what that need might be, we have the ability to address it and get you what you need.
Yeah, man, and
work you through the process.
One of the things that I always say, right? I don't want to put you in a house or put you in a place that I wouldn't put my own family in. Right. And so we both come to the table with that kind of desire, right? It doesn't matter what price point you were at.
Right.
If you're at $100,000 or if you're at $10 million, we want to make sure that we're putting you in something that we would be comfortable living in.
Right. Yes. And if not, then we want to make sure you know all the reasons we wouldn't be comfortable living in it.
Right.
And if that's still your choice, then hey, sometimes we don't all get to agree on what you decide you want. Sometimes you want something that we don't want for you.
But compromise is part of the relationship,
But
right?
that's what makes it a relationship.
But we don't drop
We're
it
still
off.
gonna support
We're
you.
still gonna support. That's it. You know, as just with anything else, man. So, here we are, man. We've made it through. We've set up our profile.
Yep.
And now we've
swiped
right.
Hey.
You know, and now we've even gone on a couple of dates at this point.
Done a couple of dates.
Okay.
So
we went through the catfish.
yeah.
You know, we're dealing with our emotions. We're dealing with our past bad experiences.
Yep.
And now we're starting to really build maybe something that this may be okay.
It's seeming like this could work out.
This may be all right.
This could be the one.
This might be the one. And so here we are, you know, the A-Team Realty Group. We are here and we are ready and available to take you out on a date.
You know,
we're ready.
There we go.
We're ready. So next time we'll see you for the next part of this real estate dating game. We're here for real intentions.
Real intentions.